Alrighty then. Can you believe it's been 30 years since the film that put Jim Carrey on the map came out? Well, then, my friends, you're about to hear my thoughts on this film. So here's a review of Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Noel, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1994 comedy flick Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, originally released by Warner Bros. For Morgan Creek, directed by Tom Shadyac from a story he wrote with Jack Bernstein and Jim Carrey, who plays the title character, along with Courteney Cox, Tone Loc, Sean Young, and then Miami Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino, and features a cameo appearance from the death mailbag Cannibal Corpse. This film was released on this day 30 years ago on February 4th, 1994. Henceforth, today is, of course, the film's 30th anniversary. Anyway, while it received mixed reviews, though, but due to Carrey's performance, it led to the film having a cult following among male adolescents. I was one of them because I saw this just well after it was released on physical media. And it really launched his film career as well, even after he made small appearances or minor appearances in other films a decade before this, which of course started with the film Copper, I believe it was Copper Melon back in '83. Anyway, it of course became a little bit of a franchise. Well, here's our story. Ace Ventura, an offbeat private detective in Miami, is known for rescuing tame or captive animals. Despite struggles with and constant mockery from the Miami Police Department, led by Lieutenant Lois Einhorn, Ventura is hired by Melissa Robinson, the Miami Dolphins publicist, to find their kidnapped mascot Snowflake just weeks before the Super Bowl. Investigating the kidnapping, Ventura finds a rare amber stone in Snowflake's tank, leading him to suspect billionaire Ronald Kemp, a collector of exotic animals. However, after sneaking into Kemp's party and facing a dangerous encounter with a shark, Ventura rules out Kemp as the stone in his ring matches the one found, but is not missing. Ventura then theorizes that the stone is from the 1984 AFC Championship ring, suggesting a member of the team as the culprit, but finds all rings intact. Yep, it's crazy. Roger Pedactor, the Dolphins' head of operations, dies mysteriously, and Ventura proves murder. His investigation leads him to a disgraced former Dolphins place kicker named Ray Finkel, who missed a potentially game-winning kick in the 1984 Super Bowl and blamed Dan Marino for it. Ventura also learns that Finkel had been committed for homicidal tendencies shortly after the Dolphins released him following the Super Bowl loss. With Marino's subsequent kidnapping, Ventura suspects Finkel is seeking revenge. Well, disguised as a patient at a psychiatric facility, Ventura discovers that Einhorn is actually Finkel, who had altered his appearance and infiltrated the police for revenge. So now I'll go to the ending. You know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video. Go to the description box below. Fast forward to the time below. As I start counting down, if you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Well, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and Ventura confronts Einhorn at a yacht storage facility, holding Marino and Snowflake hostage. In a dramatic revelation, Ventura exposes Einhorn as Finkel, leading to her arrest after a physical altercation. Well, and the climax unfolds at the Super Bowl's halftime, where Marino and Snowflake are celebrating, and Ventura is hailed as a hero on the Jumbotron. The event is humorously capped off by Ventura's scuffle with the Philadelphia Eagles mascot over a rare pigeon, earning him a standing ovation. Yep, in the story. So, what did I think of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? I love this film. This is easily one of my favorite Jim Carrey flicks of all time, and it was the film that introduced me to him. This film was absolutely very, very crazy and what have you. So anyway, now here's something I've just now found from my sources. James G. Robinson, the CEO and chairman of Morgan Creek, in the early 90s sought to produce a company that would have wide appeal. Tom Shadyac pitched a rewrite of the script to Robinson and was hired as director for what was his directorial debut. Now, filmmakers first approached Rick Moranis to play Ace, but he declined it. Which, because of course, later that same year, he was in the Flintstones as Barney Rubble. They then considered casting Judd Nelson or Alan Rickman, and they also considered changing Ace to be female and casting Whoopi Goldberg. David Alan Grier also turned down. Ultimately, Robinson noticed Carrey's performance in the sketch comedy show In Living Color and cast him as Ace. And Lauren Holly turned down the role of Melissa Robinson, which eventually went to Courteney Cox, who later that same year would be on NBC's big hit sitcom Friends. Carrey helped rewrite the script and allowed the filmmakers, well, the filmmakers allowed him to improvise on the set. According to this of his approach, Carrey says, "I knew this movie was going to either be something that people really went for, or it was going to ruin me completely from the beginning of my involvement. I said that the character had to be rock and roll. He had to be the 007 of Pet Detectives. I wanted to be unstoppably ridiculous, and they let me go wild." Well, he said he saw comedic moments that would be unappealing to some. "I wanted to keep the action unreal and over the top. When it came time to do my reaction to kissing a man, I wanted to be the biggest, most obnoxious, homophobic reaction ever recorded. It's so ridiculous, it can't be taken seriously, even though it guarantees that somebody's going to be offended." Okay, well, enough said about that. I rarely would talk about this, but since I've went through the stories, anywho, they have Ira Newborn do the score, which was really good. It also has a soundtrack released on Morgan Creek Records. Yes, which included several songs and what have you, including songs from Cannibal Corpse who appear in one scene, as well as tunes from Aerosmith and Boy George, as well as Robert John's cover of The Lion Sleeps Tonight. And then there's also the closing song, Ace is in the House, done by Tone Loc, along with a little help from Jim Carrey himself. Well, as of now, the film currently sits at 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying that Carrey's twitchy antics and gross out humor are on full bombastic display in this, which is great news for fans of his particular brand of comedy, but likely unsatisfying for anyone else. Well, the LA report at the time, not many critics have been charmed by Ace Ventura's exploits, and several have charged that the film's humor is mean spirited, needlessly raunchy, and homophobic. Well, a biography on Carrey wrote that the fans loved him and the critics hated him. Now, it received generally unfavorable reviews from contemporary critics, though. Anywho, Roger Ebert said for the Chicago Sun-Times, saying, "I found the movie a long, unfunny slog through an impenetrable plot," and described the lead role. Carrey plays Ace as if he's being clocked on an energyometer and paid by the calories expended. He's a hyper goon who likes to screw his mouth into strange shapes while playing variations on the language. Well, that's understandable, but nonetheless, I found it to be pretty funny and what have you. Well, the New York Times film critic Stephen Holden said the comic actor Jim Carrey gives one of the most hyperactive performances ever brought to the screen. Only a child could love Mr. Carrey's character, but that may be the point. The movie has the metabolism, logic, and attention span of a peevish 6-year-old. He said of Ace Ventura's animals, the few scenes of Ace communicating with his animals hint an endearing wackiness that is abruptly undercut by the movie's ridiculous plot. Well, once again, understandable and what have you. But of the whole, I thought Ace Ventura Pet Detective was absolutely zany, crazy, and all that jazz. I loved it. Anyway, the film did well. It went on to make 172 7 not 7.2 million. I'll just go ahead and try that. 107.2 million worldwide against its $15 million budget. And of course it became a cult classic. It would go on to have a sequel in 1995, and then after that would be an animated TV series that CBS aired here in the US and also aired on up in Canada, considering it was produced by the Canadian cartoon studio Nelvana. And later there would be a standalone made for TV sequel, Ace Ventura Jr. in 2009, which I've only seen once, and it's okay. Now, I will review the sequel, Ace Ventura When Nature Calls, sometime down the road, possibly, maybe, I don't know. I don't know, because it won't be celebrating its anniversary until next November, but we'll see what happens, okay? Now, as for our cast, aside from Jim Carrey as Ace and Courteney Cox as Melissa, we have Sean Young taking on the role of Einhorn, aka Ray Finkel. Yes. Now, I do remember that name, Sean Young, who had recently been in films like Stripes, Blade Runner, as well as the original Dune and Wall Street. Let's see. And even Fatal Instinct. Boy, I gotta say, one mean gal turned out to be a man. Yeah. Rapper Tone Loc, who of course was already well known for his song, his little number of a tune Wild Thing back in the late 80s, plays one of the police members, Emilio. Yeah, he's pretty good. Dan Marino, of course, plays himself. He's pretty good. See, John Capodice, who also would be in Wall Street, as well as appear in other films. And, well, let me see here. I'm trying to find what I'm trying to find. Well, I just know he's done lots of shows and appeared in movies. He plays Aguado, another member, who really gets into a little, with Ace and what have you. Let's see. There's Rainer Shine plays the character of Woodstock. If I'm not I could be wrong though, but I believe that's the guy who wears two pairs of glasses. I'm pretty sure it's him. I could be wrong though. We also have Noble Willingham. Let's see, Frank Adonis, Tiny Run, Udo Kier, Troy Evans, and let's see, we got Mark Margolis, who plays Ace's landlord, Mr. Chickadance, and Randall Tex Cobb as a gruff man who kidnaps this here that's the dog Ace is saving in the beginning of the film. So anyway, Ace Ventura Pet Detective, it's absolutely crazy and what have you. If you really want some real fun Jim Carrey laughs and what have you, then this is the film I would highly recommend. So I'd say, hell yeah, go for it. Now after this, Carrey would appear in two other films in the following months, those would be The Mask and Dumb and Dumber, which I will be reviewing those two later on for their anniversaries this year. So anyway, what did you think of Ace Ventura: Pet Detective? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you the second part of my mini reviews of the After film series. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, check out my reviews of these other Jim Carrey films. In the upper left hand corner is my review of The Cable Guy from 1996. The upper right hand corner is my review of Liar Liar from 1997. Or if you'd like, go to the bottom left hand corner and see my review of Bruce Almighty from 2003. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya. Alright then. Take care now. Bye bye. Okay, I'm really gonna go this time.